Okay, hopefully everyone can hear me. And yeah, thanks for everyone joining the stream. And I'm gonna fix this camera quick. I want to show off the fact that I took. Oh, it's a little tilted. That's a little better, I think. All right. Took the liberty of pouring a green drink in respect of in honor of the Earthborne Rangers and Earthborne Games colors. So hope to get kudos points for that. Also, I changed the background lighting to green as well, and because normally if you watch our live streams in the past, I always have a red background to align with Talking Cardboard, but figured we'd go green today. With that said, I'm continuing the prologue that the game comes with in Earthborne Rangers comes with for your and recommends going through for your first when you're first learning the game. I started the prologue a couple weeks ago, and that stream is on the Talking Cardboard live page. So check that out if you want to have better context for what's going on right now in the game. So I'm not going to rehash everything I've done so far. I'm just going to skip ahead to where I left off last time, which was I had just I was just trying to find this character in the game called Calypso, and I met her. I went through the process to track her down basically, and she basically says, "All right, I'll see you later." And at that point, the game then. The prologue instructions that I have here basically say that's the last time. It's time to return to Lone Tree Station. I must go by a different route, but I will see you there. So that was the last thing Calypso says to us. And now our mission is to travel to Lone Tree Station to complete the prologue. So where we're at right now is the location here, which is called Boulder Field. And in order to clear this location, we need to complete the clearing objective, which is to place 4 ranger tokens or 4 progress tokens on that location card, since it's 4R, which is 4 times the number of rangers, and as it's just me, I only need to get 1 progress token. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what are all these cards on the table for, Nick? So again, this is the prologue, so it's trying to teach you the game as you play, and after Calypso leaves us, the game then says, all right, find each of the 4 specialty sets: Artificer, Conciliator, gosh, I can't talk English, I guess, Explorer, and Shaper. Now, you probably are wondering, like, what kind of classes are those? Like, I've never heard of a game with a Shaper type. At least I haven't heard before. And you'll have heard me make this comment in my first playthrough video. This game uses a lot of novel terms for things, including like what they call classes, what you typically might know as classes and subclasses. So in this game, a way to differentiate to try to differentiate player experiences, there are different specialty classes, I'll call them, or sets of cards that come with the game, and you pick one of these specialty classes. And the rulebook does give details as to what each of these are supposed to represent. So if you have no idea what a Shaper is, well, the rulebook thankfully kind of gives you some context. In the world of Earthborne Rangers, what is a Shaper? So I think that's cool that the game's trying to create its own set of classes and provide its own background and lore for that. But when it's for first time playing, you might be kind of scratching your head and wondering what the heck some of these things are. Nonetheless, for the sake of brevity, I just decided I was going to choose the Explorer specialty. And then once you pick one of those 4 specialties, the prologue then says, okay, you take out all sets. There's two of every, 2 sets of 2 cards of, I don't know how many sets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2 cards for 2 of 12 types of cards. Jeez. And you pick 5 sets and add them to your deck. So my character that I'm... Oh, and then also there's these 2 what are called... I think they're called, roll cards that are aligned to that specialty as well. And so this, I don't want to say serves as your character card, but in a sense kind of is your character card. So for the Explorer class, you could be a Undaunted Seeker role or a Peerless Pathfinder. And the difference between these are these exhaust effects. So basically you tap the card and you get to resolve that exhaust effect. In the case of the Undaunted Seeker, when you perform a test, dodge 1 card. I'm not 100% sure the mechanism for dodge. I haven't come across the need to do dodging yet, but I imagine it helped you evade an attack, for example, or some sort of potential harm. And then this guy says, exhaust, move your ranger token, that this is the symbol for ranger token, to a feature. That feature fatigues you. So in the game, there will be the need to move your ranger token to different areas of the map or the world, or sorry, different parts of the game. And so having the ability to do that by exhausting your card will come in handy. So I just decided on Peerless Pathfinder as my role, just because I wasn't sure if I would need to dodge yet or not. All right, so with that said, then in order to determine the 5 sets of cards, my thinking was I'll just align to my strengths. So I have 3 fitness with the attribute card that I have. So I figured for sure I'll take these Orlin hiking stave, since that requires... Oh, sorry. I meant the afforded by nature, since that requires 3 fitness. And then I figured, well, I'll get the highest I can for awareness, which my awareness stat is 2, so I can get up to a 2 awareness card. So I figured I'd get these. Hydro Lens goggles, and then my yellow, which is spirit, goes up to 1. And there's no... Oh, yeah, there is. This Walk With Me card is just 1. So I figure, okay, I'll add that. Then I'll get 1 blue. And there's no 2, or my card gives me 2 focus. There's no 2 focus card. There's a 3, which I'm not high enough to get. But then there's 2 1s, and I'll do Field Journal, I guess. And then that gives me 1 more set that the rules say I can take. And since, again, my strength is in fitness, I'll get another fitness. And then the highest fitness is an Orlin hiking stave, so I'll do that. So that concludes me picking 5 sets of cards for my Explorer specialty. So when you're playing a normal game, if you're starting from scratch, I think you'd be putting together your deck of cards at the very start of the game. Not kind of throughout the mission, like you're doing in the prologue. So now I'm taking all these cards I have in my deck right now and shuffling them, and this is going to be my player hand for this next day. I think it's a day or round, and everything else I think is set up and ready to go. So the prologue at this point just says I draw up to 6 cards. I believe. I'm just going to read this real quick. Take your hand, Ranger deck, discard, and shuffle them together with your chosen specialty cards. Place your deck face down again. For proceed to the refresh phase. Instead of drawing just one card, draw 6 cards as you would at the beginning of a game. Then proceed to the next round of play. And then regardless of your current location, your goal this round is to travel to Lone Tree Station. And if you're able to travel at the end of the round, travel to Lone Tree Station to complete the prologue. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do. So I have my shuffled cards right there. And I'll draw 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And, you know, looks like I have this, kind of show them close up. Have a reverb locket, which is gear that I can equip that says when you play this gear, attach a moment to it from your hand. And moments, I think, are like event cards. I'm trying to understand the value of this. Exhaust. Use 1 echo. Play the attached moment as if it were in your hand. It remains attached to this gear instead of being discarded. All right. So the way I'm interpreting this, so moments are like kind of an event card, is my best way of describing it. So I do actually have this card, which is considered a moment. And it says, discard any number of progress from a trail to add an equal number of harm to a being. Now, this card I think is really thematic, because this is why this game, in my opinion, is really cool, because it's what the card's saying to do mechanically, thematically also makes sense, especially with the artwork here, because basically, let's say you're adding a lot of progress to a trail card, so for example, a perfect example is here. Boulder Field is considered a trail card. I'll show you over. Is considered trail card, and I'm adding progress to this trail card. So typically, you want to add progress to get to that threshold. So you don't want to remove progress from it. But in the case of this moment card, maybe I'm up against some dangerous creature, and I really want to defeat it. Well, I could take the progress I've added to this trail. This Boulder Trail card, and apply it, I guess, as harm to whatever I'm attacking and trying to create harm onto, which thematically is describing me going off the trail and maybe setting myself back in terms of progressing down this Boulder Trail, but at the same time I'm utilizing the field, or the area I'm in, to my advantage, as it's shown in this picture, to try and defeat an enemy. So anyway, I think that's kind of a cool card concept. And then what makes this kind of an interesting combination, which I assume maybe by coincidence, I don't know if this is actually considered a really good combo, but in my mind it is. This card's saying that normally, once I would play this for its effect, because moments I think you just play and discard, I instead get to keep this attached to this locket. And so that means I can then use it again in future turns, which potentially could be really useful. Maybe there's better moment cards to attach to this locket. But anyway, that's the way these cards, I believe, would interact. I then have an attribute card. These just provide effort to help pass tests. So this one says before you commit. Oh, and this is versatile. So just like it's described, it's basically letting me change this to a different type of help with different types of tests besides the heart one, if I want a fatigue a card. So it's versatile, hence the name. I have Vigilant in my hand, which provides that symbol, which I'm hoping someday I'll be an expert on what all the symbology in this game means. That's a conflict approach, and these are called approach. Ugh, there's so many terms. So this is an approach icon, and specifically the conflict one. And it says the number of conflicts on this attribute is equal to the number of awareness in your energy pool. So yeah, I guess if I had a lot of awareness, my character has 2 awareness, but um, and then I have the hiking stave, uh, exhaust. So it's a gear that I could equip, and it says exhaust add 1. So it has 3. Comes with 3 strides. Is the type of token that 3 tokens get placed on this representing strides. So I can use 1 stride to add progress to a trail by exhausting this. Makes sense. I'm using the walking stick to help progress to the trail. I like that thematically. And then also I could use it as a weapon. So for a fit test, fit plus plus conflict, strike 2. Strike out with your walking implement to add a harm to a being for every 2 effort. If you fail, suffer 1 injury. So it could be used as a weapon as well, I guess. So that's cool, I guess. And then Strider is in a tribute, which gives me a bunch of the exploration approach icons. And you can only commit this attribute when interacting with a trail. Oh, well, that's actually perfect because I'm definitely going to be interacting with a trail since that is the goal of my current situation right now. So I'm going to collect these because the first part of a game round is drawing 1 card. Each ranger draws a path card. So I'll be drawing a path card here. Let's see what I get. Oh, that's not the path cards. These are the the modifier cards. This is path card. First, the path card I draw is called a Stick a Buck. We had a lot of these in my first session of the prologue. And they are within reach, which is the down arrow. So it's right in front of me. And doesn't really do anything negative as far as I'm concerned, but it does kind of block my way to the location card that I want to interact with. So now it's my turn for actions, and now I could just go with I think I could simply do a well, no, I don't think I need to actually use my Strider card right away. But I'm saying I could just theoretically interact with the field right away by using my reference cards. I need my reference card, which gives me the simple actions. Let me hopefully find that quick here, because those cards are really... Here we go. So traverse is the action I would do. The nearby terrain to add progress to a location or a feature equal to your effort. If you fail, suffer 1 injury. Yeah, so unless I'm there's a little bit of doubt in my mind as if I'm playing this game 100% correctly at times, but in my understanding, I can right away decide to go ahead and interact with this location card and do the fit test, or the traverse test, I should say, to try and add progress tokens to it. So for me to do that, I will have to spend one of my... I'll move these things more on the screen. So you start the day off with all your energy, as shown here. I have 2 awareness, 1 spirit, 2 focus, and 3 fitness. And when you're doing what's called again the traverse common test, it's a fit test, meaning I have to use at least one of my fitness energy tokens for the test, which also gives me 1 effort. So I'll put that out there to show that I'm using that. I then will just go ahead and use this Strider card, and that will give me 3 additional effort, because these exploration symbols, which there's 3 on that card, are aligned to the approach icon for the traverse test. So that gives me 4 effort right now. And what was I going to say? Oh, I'm just going to quick read through the commit effort. So commit energy, I already did that. That's what this energy token is. Commit approach icons, I'm using 3 from my Strider card there. And I could use more than that, just to really try to knock this thing out of the park. I do have the Reverb Locket, which also would give me 1 more effort for exploration, but I don't think I need to do that. And then commit effort from other sources, which I don't think... I might just do all of my energy. Actually, I mean, again, I'm kind of... Okay, so... We'll get there in a second, actually. So first, I can do more than 1 energy, and that just gives me also that much more effort. So I'm going to spend 3 of my fitness energy. So then I have a total of 6 combined effort committed to this test. 3 from my energy tokens, 3 from the 3 approach on my Strider attribute card. All right, so apply modifiers. Now I would be drawing the top card from the modifier deck to see what kind of randomness ensues. And, well, there you go, +1. So a little bit of overkill on the effort for this test because, as it says on the card, traverse, add 1 progress to location or feature equal to your effort. If you fail, suffer 1 energy. So I actually have 7 effort committed. So I would actually be placing 7 progress tokens on this location card. I don't know if it really matters if I put more than what's actually needed, which is 4. I would maybe say I think there probably actually is a reason why putting more is not a bad idea, in case maybe it gets taken away by other elements of the game. Nonetheless, I say that, so I'm going to go ahead and put the full 7 that I got. So I have 7 now progress on that location. And resolve the challenge effects. So this has the challenge of that symbol. And it also has this icon which says in the rule book, that's the reshuffle icon, where you shuffle the challenge discard back into the challenge deck. But obviously in this game it doesn't really matter, since I think this will be the only challenge card I'm drawing. But nonetheless, we have to look and see what things have this symbol on them. And you do weather card first. The weather card has the blue challenge symbol. So in the blue, let me use the right terms here. So the mountain symbol. This is called crest. So we ignore the effect on the weather card, and then we look at location card. Location card has no challenge effect symbols. The mission card, we don't have a mission card. Cards along the way, I have no, we'll say this is kind of the cards along the way area, which there's none. Then the cards within reach, which we will say, which is the stick buck. And it does say if there is an active predator, if there is an active stick doe, the buck charges suffer 1 injury. So the bottom challenge would go off potentially if there was a stick doe active. The buck will protect the doe and come after and attack me, which again, one of the kind of cool thematic moments in this game. But there is no stickable, so I don't have to worry about the buck coming after me. The one thing that I forgot to mention too is then that at the very before I actually even went this far, I am supposed to suffer fatigue for the number of cards between myself and the card I'm interacting with, which there is a stick a buck. Now, I need to read through that section real quick here because it says when you interact with the environment, things between you and the thing with which you're interacting may cause you to suffer fatigue. This might be something, blah, blah, blah. Before you perform a test, each ready card between you and the furthest card with which you are interacting fatigues you. And then that means each card in the path has a presence value in the upper right corner. Some game effects will cause cards to fatigue you. When this happens, if the card is ready, you suffer fatigue equal to the presence of that card. All right, now I'm reading all of that because then, based on what I just read, the stick buck has a 1 presence, which means it would fatigue me once, and it means I move a card from my draw deck to the fatigue pile. However, up here, the location says that Boulder Field reduces the presence of all beings in play by 1. And the stick a buck is described as a being, and therefore I will make the assumption or the ruling that in fact I don't have to pay a fatigue card because this buck's presence is then actually nullified by the Boulder Field. And again, going back to what I've been saying about the thematic aspect of this game, I believe what it's trying to represent is, this is kind of an open environment. You have a lot of based on the depiction of what I'm seeing here, you have a lot of visibility of your surroundings in this Boulder Field. Therefore, creatures in you have good understanding of what's in your way and you have good line of sight, and therefore you don't have to worry about things as much getting in your way or impeding your interactions with the environment. Not sure if that's in this case that's exactly what the design was going for, but that's how I'm interpreting it in my head. Like, hey, we're in this open environment. We see this stick a buck off to the side, so we know not to go near it, and therefore it's not affecting our interaction with progressing along the Boulder Field. So, anyway, going back to concluding this test that I just did. We did the challenge. If that was the last thing that we needed to do to complete the test, and that would be the end of that test. These would get discarded or off to the side because I've used them, and then I believe this attribute card would just get discarded. We'll say there, and it's still my turn, as far as I'm aware. But the reality is, at this point, we don't need to really take any more turns because our mission was simply to get the amount of progress needed on this location card, which we just needed 4. We have 7. So I'm going to say we skip ahead and we end our ranger turn and move on to the travel phase, or we would take a rest action, I guess, essentially. And when we rest, quick want to read through the resting aspect. If you are finished taking turns for the round, you can choose to rest. You can resolve any effects that resolve when you rest. Then your turn ends and you suffer 1 fatigue for each injury you have. Once all rangers have rested, ranger turns are over and play proceeds to the travel phase. So we move on to travel. And all rangers have rested. You may decide as a group if you'd like to travel. Traveling is how you move around the valley. And each card has the progress threshold on the lower right. If the card has a number of progress tokens equal to or greater than the threshold, you can choose to travel. And if you decide to travel, perform the following steps. You clear the play area, so we are supposed to discard all the path cards in play. And then you travel to the new location. So as a group, choose a new location to travel by consulting the campaign map. You must choose a location that is connected directly to your current location. But as you can imagine, since this is a scripted prologue, it happens that we're currently in Boulder Field. We're trying to get to Lone Tree Station. So that is a location that is allowed, that we can actually travel to. And this is the Lone Tree Station card. And replacing the we replace the current location with this new one is what the rules are saying. And decide to camp. After choosing your new location as a group, you can decide to end the day and set up camp for the night. Before venturing into the new landscape, ending the day in this way is safer than ending it in the middle of navigating through a location, and allows you an opportunity to prepare yourselves for the next day. If you end the day in this way, you are allowed to swap cards in your ranger decks between sessions. If you choose not to end the day, continue to step 4. So in step 4, we build the new path deck for the new location. However, I'm going to take a quick pause there and switch back to the prologue directions, because I do think the prologue might say things that supersede what's in the rule book. So the prologue says, when you travel to Lone Tree Station, read the following. You emerge from a line of trees and find yourself walking through a vast rolling field. In the distance, you see the towering form of Lone Tree Station rising against the clear blue sky. And on the breeze, you smell the hint of something sweet. Is someone baking? The prologue is nearly complete. Take time to tidy up the play area, gather your deck, discard pile, fatigue stack in hand into your ranger cards, into your ranger deck and set it aside. Gather the path cards and return them to their sets. It's time to conclude deck building by choosing your ranger's outside interest. Usually you choose your outside interest from the entire starting card pool, but for the prologue, we'll narrow it down a bit so it's not such an intimidating choice. If you're playing solo, you can skip the next step and choose your outside interest from the starting card pool, or you can choose one of the suggested outside interests listed on page 33 of the rulebook. All right, so I'm just adding, I guess, another card to my player deck, which are called that's what. So I was wondering, I think this is, look through the cards from your chosen background and specialty sets that you did not include or couldn't include in your deck. Choose 2 of those cards that you think might be helpful to the group and place them in the center of the table. All right, so this is just like a way, I mean, again, I'm assuming this step is included in the normal deck building part of the game. So it's just basically allowing, from what I'm understanding, it's basically allowing you to kind of add some flavor to your character, so you're not forced into only having cards from each specific deck you otherwise are using, and it's giving you the opportunity to kind of try for interesting synergies by incorporating cards from other specialties and other backgrounds, which is only adds to the variety of play in this game. And I think, that's cool. And as it says here, if you're playing with a multiplayer, if you're playing with other players, you're maybe thinking strategically with your other players and what kind of cards each other should be trying to give to one another. So I'm not planning to actually continue into the full campaign or the actual first mission of Earthborne Rangers. My purpose was simply to show the prologue to completion, which is essentially what I've been able to do in the first. Well, when you combine this video with the other playthrough I've done on the Talking Cardboard live section. So with that said, let me know in the comments if what you thought of this playthrough. If you think I could have done anything a little better. Or if you actually enjoyed everything, that's great too. But I'm going to reiterate the things I've been saying about this game from the very beginning. That first and foremost, it's very thematic. Everything that I've experienced up until now in this game makes sense to me in terms of what that card is trying to accomplish or simulate, or the feeling it's trying to convey. A lot of this game is role playing to an extent, and the game directions are very clear about that. You know, you're supposed to kind of pretend you are the character you're specking out, and that you're trying to take personality decisions and specialties decisions that align to what you personally want your character to have. And it's definitely not an RPG in the traditional sense of what an RPG is, but this game is trying to pull elements from an RPG game in a unique way, and I appreciate the game for doing that. So in the location, I think how the mechanics of how locations are used is cool. Like the fact that, you know, you start with a perfect day, and over time the weather can change, and but just by playing the game naturally. So yeah, there's the in what little I've gone through of the story text too, I appreciate that aspect of the game as well. So you know, definitely check out the upcoming second Kickstarter for Earthborne Rangers if this game looks interesting to you. And hopefully I might actually start streaming an actual game. I know a lot of people already have videos of their play sessions on Board Game Geek, but of course I kind of want to do my own session. Not sure if I would do that solo or with others from Talking Cardboard or my wife. But definitely excited to explore this game more, no pun intended, since I was an explorer. And yeah, no, this is a really cool game, and hopefully you guys appreciate it as well. But with that said, thanks so much for watching this brief stream of me going through the prologue here. If you haven't already, please follow and subscribe to the Talking Cardboard YouTube channel so you can be notified when we go live in the future with streams or when we post other kinds of content. And also, never hesitate to check out the link tree here, which shows all the other platforms we use on Talking Cardboard, including Discord, TikTok, X, and we have podcasts too. So please explore all that. And finally, I'm going to start being more proactively doing promotion for 2DCon, which is in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So 2DCon is Minnesota's largest board game convention, and it's occurring February 16th through the 18th, so next month, as of the recording right now. And definitely, if you're not aware, if you're in the area, even in the Midwest area, consider coming out to this convention. It is 3 days, so if you are coming in out of town, you know, it might be worth finding a nearby hotel. I believe the hotel the convention's at might be booked by now, but there's definitely a lot of hotels in that area. Specifically, it's in Plymouth, Minnesota, so just west of of Minneapolis. And Talking Cardboard will have its own dedicated space there. So if you do decide to go to the convention, please seek out our Talking Cardboard room and come and say hi to myself and the others of the Talking Cardboard group. We'd love to meet you and hear what kind of games you enjoy playing, hear what you think about our content. Hopefully it's positive things, but hey, we're always open to criticism. So if there's anything you think we could do different or have ideas of your own, let us know. We're also always looking to collaborate. Maybe you're a publisher or designer looking to work with us, so that'd be great as well. All right, enough chatter. Thanks, guys, so much for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your night. And thanks. This is Nick from Talking Cardboard. Have a good rest.